Hi, everyone. This is a rain-soaked, thunder and lightning, short attention span webinar. Kelly, take cover. I don't know if you can hear the rain in the background. Kelly says she can hear it, but it is pouring in Boston right now. So my apologies. We are on a roll, and we like to crank these out multiple at a time here. So hopefully we won't lose power. If not, then we'll just have a great story to tell. Kelly, what is whack-a-mole? What does that mean?
Well, I mean, the visual is pretty obvious that it's this kind of chaotic, like dealing with things as they pop up. Something pops up and you hit it, and something pops up and you deal with it. And it really does not support a lot of consistency and feelings of support and like a coaching and mentoring environment, which is what all of us in sales really, truly do need, especially when we're first getting started out or we're early in our careers, which is, you know, an environment, again, that fosters learning and development and strategy and things like that. So it's much more, it feels much more like crisis mode and very chaotic and not all that productive and very reactive as opposed to more thought out and strategic.
And this happens because for a number of reasons. You know, everybody's busy. And we know we have to have good management. We know we have to have some sort of meeting structure. Maybe it happens a little bit, and then it falls off. Well, you know what? Everybody's in sales these days. They're sales managers. They're probably selling sales managers, or they're selling owners. And that becomes an issue as well. You know, it's just like, oh, shoot, you know what? It's 5 o'clock on Friday. I didn't get a chance to have that meeting. Well, this other stuff's important too. And then when something pops up, thus the phrase, I'll hit it over the head with my mallet and we'll deal with it then. But it'll just be this way for a while, and that's one of the lies that we tell ourselves, basically. And the other thing is that, you know what, just because they're a good salesperson doesn't automatically make them a good sales manager. It might be that you're a whack-a-mole manager because you're really not a good manager. So let's see if we can help you out and get you to avoid this. Kelly, what we're talking about here is setting up a weekly meeting, all right? So a static weekly meeting, same time every single week, and creating a two-way agenda. So we're going to ask the reps to do some work, and we're going to have the manager to do some work. Okay, and that's a little bit different from most meetings, because most meetings, sales management meetings, it's management dictating the sales. And we're saying no. We're saying this is a 50-50 thing. Starting off with a brainstorming session. What are we going to do with that brainstorming session? Why would we start off that way, Kelly?
Well, it really is to make sure that everybody gets what they need out of the meeting. So, in fact, the best way to start a meeting like that would be to say, okay, folks, let's all talk about how we're going to spend this time together, what we hope to accomplish during these meetings. It's not just something to check off the box that says we did it. This is really, truly a tool in order to make everybody stronger, give everybody more of an opportunity, again, to learn something, get better, get stronger, and help the organization perform better. So that's why it's a good idea to give everybody a voice and really, you know, have the opportunity to say what they need and talk about problems and challenges and things like that.
That's exactly right. Say what they need. The management cannot hit a target if they don't know where to aim. So the sales reps, here's what we want you to do, okay? This is what we suggest anyway. On a regular basis, you should be showing up to this meeting saying, here's one new company that I'm going after. One a week. Bare minimum. You can say here's 5 or here's 10, especially if you're just starting out. But be the constant source of new business. The managers, you should be asking the reps to bring new leads so that they remain sales focused. All right, that's number one. At least one new lead, okay, or one new vertical. Saying, hey, you know what? This is a great. I just read this in the Wall Street Journal. This is a great opportunity. This is what we're going to do. One per week. Keep the reps new business focused. The second thing is, we want you to give an update on a couple of the new accounts that you're going after. All right, update. Last week I told you that I was going after Eastern Bank. I've made the call. I've got the appointment. Okay, on the second one, I was calling on Liberty Mutual, and here's what I did with them. Great. And then 2 existing accounts. Everybody has that update. Purpose of this is so that the salespeople are prepared and the management can keep track of what's going on. I can't tell you how many times I talk to owners and managers who say, I really don't know what the sales reps are up to. Like, what? And I get this. I get the story. Yeah, well, you know what? It's a family-owned business, and the family runs most of it because most of the volume. We got these salespeople, but we really don't check in with them as often. Well, here's a way to get around that. Everybody has to update, and this stuff, you know, you can't hide from this stuff, right? I mean, this is all stuff that you can check up on. And then also, as Kelly said, sales reps, pull the sales manager in. Be able to finish the sentence. This is what I need from you, because you know what? That's what the managers are going to ask. What do you need from me? And if the answer is nothing, I'm good, then you better be at the top of the sales chart. And then finally, just, you know, in general, report your activities. How many calls did you make? How many phone calls? How many letters? How many appointments? What kind of volume do you have in quotes? You know, what are your expectations for the week ahead now that we've reviewed the week past? Kelly, what do you add to this? Anything you can think of?
Well, really, another kind of added byproduct of this is that you have the opportunity to kind of workshop some of these opportunities. So basically, it's not just saying, here's the accounts and here's the, you know, the stuff that I'm working on. It's what would you do in asking other folks within the organization, other salespeople, like, what do you think I should try? Who do you think I should call on? And actually treating these, you know, again, like mini workshops to exchange ideas. There's, of course, the added accountability factor of having to actually, again, strategically think about these things. And, you know, generally speaking, it's just better to be open and transparent and everybody thinking about all of this stuff on the same page, and everybody really should come away from every one of these opportunities learning something new. New ideas, new talk tracks, you know, and, new ways of doing things all the time.
All right. Managers, okay? What should you bring to this meeting? I can just think of one, by the way, that I forgot. But relevant sales numbers. Sales reps don't like sales meetings. All right, and that's no surprise. We hated them when we were just starting out in sales, and we don't want to get browbeat. Bring relevant numbers. If you've got something to celebrate, celebrate it. Now, I remember getting an email once from a customer who emailed me as part of a bunch of people that got CC'd, celebrating the fact that the new rep made her first sale. That's really cool. So you know what? If you've got something great to throw into the meeting, throw it in there. Relevant sales numbers. Don't embarrass anyone. The guy that's down at the bottom of the chart, he knows he's there. He doesn't need you to remind him, and he doesn't need you to tell everybody. So stay away from the, you know what, here's our number one sales rep, our number two sales rep. Sales reps know that. Sales meetings should be about encouragement. Okay? If there's bad news, deliver it in person. Make those numbers relevant. And Kelly, what are we talking about here? What kind of? Can you think of any numbers that would be helpful?
Well, again, I think it would be bigger picture for the quarter and the year and the goal. So if the organization's goal is $5 million and you're on track to make that number, or you're down, think again. It helps the sales rep to understand how that breaks down into smaller, kind of digestible chunks. So if you say, okay, things like our average customer is this big, and we are down by this much money, which means we need 6 new customers this quarter. There are 6 of you. There's 6 new customers that we need. That means each and every one of you, if you just brought in 1 new customer, would get us where we need to be. And oh, by the way, when we get there, we're going to have a huge pizza party, and whatever that is. Again, this information shouldn't be a secret. There shouldn't. They need to know what what's needed of them in order to get, where the organization needs to be, so that they know they're going to have a job next year.
Yep, and then let's talk about, talking cumulative, let's talk about what did you learn? So everybody give me one thing that you learned this week. Because I love that question. It's something that if you know is coming, you better have an answer. And it can be comedic. I was on the vestry of my church, and at the end of the meeting, we used to have this round table where you could throw anything out there. And you knew you had to have something prepared. And I don't know was not acceptable. You'd get pressed on it. What's one more thing? What did you learn this week? How have you advanced your skills? And then finally ask, why aren't you selling more? In so many words. Okay, guys, everybody, what are your sales challenges? Somebody give me one challenge that they're having this week. What is preventing you from selling more? It's a good, healthy question because we don't need to know that everything's sunshiny. Everybody still has sales challenges. Couple other things here. Start the meeting on time every time. I'm a huge stickler for this. I ran the youth group and more importantly the softball league in my town, and we used to have 2-hour meetings. When I took over, we had 45-minute meetings, and when I left, they went back to 2 hours. And I was getting emails from people saying, "Come back." Run the meeting on time. Get it done. You are taking valuable sales time. If you don't start the meeting on time, and if it's not relevant, you're going to lose the respect of the salespeople. Bad idea. If for some reason it's going to get canceled because if it's of no value, fine, cancel it. Try not to do that. Try to avoid that at all costs. Let them run the meeting themselves if they have to, but stay consistent because what's going to happen is you're going to go back to that same whack-a-mole sales management. And then finally make certain that before you leave the meeting, you say, here's where we're headed next week. This is what we're going to do in 7 days. Everybody, we'll talk to you then. Kelly, any final whack-a-mole thoughts?
The only thing I might suggest that I always thought was really important was to occasionally bring somebody else into the meeting, like a member of production or a desktop guy or an IT guy or something, to maybe focus on something educational, or say, how could you help us, Mr. Production Manager? What ideas do you have to help us be more effective as salespeople? We should involve other departments and other people within the organization that might have great ideas that we just haven't heard yet.
Outstanding. All right, or just bring a mole and then whack it. All right, everybody, thank you. Kelly, thanks for a great job. We'll talk to you on the next short attention span webinar.
Thanks, Bill.